Well, things are not looking good here. Wait a minute. Did that just
Boom. Particular mushroom.
Hello everyone, this is Particular Mushroom, and well, Smash Ultimate has been out for a small while, and everyone who convinced their parents to not wait until Christmas is gobbling up every PNG food item possible as the hype train smashes on. Will the frenzy ever die down? I don't know. King K. Rool fans are rabid. I'm rabid. How much have I played this fighter? Way too much! Besides the inclusion of King Croc to the roster, which also comes included with DKC2 remixes. Ooh, thank you so much! My favorite inclusion to Smash Ultimate is this little toggle. Wait, where is... Oh yeah, that's right. It's for advanced users only. Not the stage morph, but stage hazards. Specifically, off. I was a big proponent of Smash for Wii U back in the day, and despite considering it my favorite Smash at the time, I grew that's a tongue twister that is. I grew weary rather quickly, versus Melee and Brawl, which I played pretty consistently until the next in the series rolled around. Now this is obviously a complex equation as life is, but there was one thing consistently getting in my way of enjoying Smash 4. Something sinister, churning beneath the surface, and when I finally put my shovel to the right dirt, the magma erupted, and it was abundantly clear. Smash 4 had like 4 good stages. It's not that these stages are bad, okay, some of them are. However, it's gimmick after gimmick after gimmick after gimmick. Sometimes I just wanted to play a stage that had no walk-offs, no water, wasn't huge, didn't transform or scroll, had no obstacles that would kill me, and wasn't this or this. See the problem? Smash Ultimate already improves the situation by adding nearly double the amount of stages, but then it turns the dial to 99 stock with the stage hazard toggle. Okay, P-Mushy, you already told us that, now what does it do? Alright, I was giving you the background story. We're done now. Turning stage hazards off removes all the death traps and harmful obstacles in most cases, giving each stage a kinder, gentler version for when I don't want to deal with this madness. Oh, okay, now we're on 2 platforms. Oh, okay, now we're stuck on half the stage. Oh, okay. Wait, what? 8-player Smash? This is happening in 8-player Smash? Wait, what? Now we're all on 1 platform. Who thought this was a good idea? So not only are there more courses to choose from, but otherwise aggravating stages are actually playable without resorting to the typical battlefield form. WarioWare, for example, is no longer an egregious lottery of who gets the better power-up, and actually made it into the pool of competitive choices. What? The blast zones were too small. What does that mean? That's stupid. Okay, apparently WarioWare is a contentious pick right now. Let's just pretend I didn't say anything. Finally, I can enjoy a no-nonsense WarioWare battle with Mona Pizza playing in the background. This here is Mona Pizza, makers of the world's best pizza. Fresh sauce and mozzarella. So what we shall do, I'm gonna go through the most interesting changes utilized by Hazards Off, and then for those who are really invested, I'll quickly run through my thoughts on all 103 stages with Hazards Off. Is this a good idea? Let's kick this off with a Garden of Hope. With a garden, it's not a garden. I mean, it is a garden, but, as much as I like Distant Planet, I'm thrilled to have a Pikmin stage without a walk-off. However, Pikmin come in here and build pots, bridges, a stick. Excuse me, no? This wacky pair of scales on ends of the arena? And the peckish Aristocrab. What are you doing? Get out of here! It's a lot to keep track of, and it had so much potential too. Except, with Hazards Off, that potential is unleashed. The scales don't move, no construction workers, and the hungry crustacean is nowhere to be found. It's just overall a great set of 4 platforms. You'll notice this odd trend where Hazards Off sometimes immobilizes the hazard and other times removes it entirely. So what does the Super Happy Tree do? This stage is notorious for the cloud platforms off the edges of the stage that vaporize if you stand on them too long. It's a huge troll to hang out at the cloud way off at the corner of the stage, as you could just wait for a character with a poor jump to come along, dissipate the cloud, and then DDD on out of there. So you would think Hazards Off just gets rid of the clouds, right? Nope. The clouds are still there, they just don't disappear anymore. I know that's upsetting for some people, but I can't say I'm too upset though. Pick two characters that have good jumps and duke it out on this tiny, isolated platform. 1v1 Kirby-only fluffy side cloud platform. Now Corneria is interesting. Turning Hazards Off will get rid of those random R-Wings flying in with their pew-pew blasters, so that makes the stage a lot simpler, but on the flip side, the front guns on the ship never fire. So you can just camp down there the whole match, and there's already another camping spot. I remember camping down here all the time as Olimar and Brawl. No one wanted to fight the almighty Olimar. It never worked out too well for them. Good times, good times. Look at these computers, they're completely ignoring me. I could just stand down here the whole fight, what the heck?
Come at me!
Yeah, Fox, tell him. Come at me. Okay, let's get down to one CPU and see what happens then. Wait, Fox, no! I can explain? I'm not a Fox main? Come on, Pichu, you can do it. Almost got it. You fell into my trap. Uh-oh, it's getting interesting now. Timer, no, things were just getting good. Magicant is finally playable. Woo! The art direction in this stage is amazing, and I just want to eat the stage. It looks like cotton candy. However, touching these flying men will add them to your team like an overpowered assist trophy. They jump and kick for like 5 years until they finally disappear, and as soon as you breathe a sigh of relief, another pops up. Like give me a break. It's unfortunate that Hazards Off removes the fun hazards like the mobile sprout, but this is the price we pay to get rid of those wrestling toucans. Shadow Moses Island is another notable Hazards Off stage. With Hazards Off, the walls here can no longer be broken, making this the only stage in Smash history where you cannot launch players off the sides. You must launch them off the top. Now all we need is vice versa, where you can't get launched off the top. Am I being ignored? I'm fine with that. I think my favorite Hazards Off stage, though, Lucario hates fun, has to go to Battlefield. No. Rainbow Cruise is a fantastic stage with Hazards Off. You get to play on the skyship the whole time, no scrolling elements whatsoever. I've always enjoyed the aesthetics of this stage, but in practice, this part with the arrow is busted. Look how fast it goes, just not fair. Did they nerf the scrolling speed? I still don't like it. But with Hazards Off, my favorite part of the stage becomes the only part of the stage. Captain K. Rool claims the stage for the Kremlin crew. Hey, get out of here, Mario. This is our ship now. And this is probably the greatest strength of Hazards Off. Scrollers and transforming stages can be master hand poked into a stationary set of platforms, opening up a whole new set of options for players who can't stand that kind of stuff. Skyloft turns into one conglomerate set of platforms, which flies around Skyloft. Woohoo Island sticks to the two strangest platforms I've ever seen. Mushy U stays on that one grassy setup, which I like way more than Battlefield. Castle Siege doesn't transform with that janky transition animation. Even Golden Plains sits still in a nice location, if you're okay with walk-offs. While most of the time Stage Hazards Off does what you expect, sometimes it gets a bit weird. Mushroomy Kingdom, it still moves. The only hazard it removes are the question mark blocks, even if you have items on. Seems like a waste of Hazards Off to me. Living room seems simple enough, it's just flat hardwood, makes sense. But then after about 40 seconds... What? Excuse me? Do you not consider this a hazard? It does damage to you, I don't get it. I know, right, Donkey Kong? So the deal is they only drop once. So after they're down, they stay, unlike the normal stage where they'll eventually disappear and then respawn. But then, why not just start with the blocks already down? That's what Arena Ferox does. But then stages like Delfino Plaza touch down, hover again, touch down, and continue. The game just won't be consistent about it, and that's not all. Who? Wait, what? Hold on, I can test this. Oh, okay, Spirit Tracks gets moving platforms for some reason. What? Why are the rabbits still in Jungle Japes? This is the worst hazard in the game. Remove the worst hazard in the game, please. Why have these blocks here if I can't break them? Just remove them completely. Of course, some of these oddities are actually pretty neat. In the Paper Mario stage, the windmill can still be rotated by standing on it, and the cloud platform will sway back and forth. Big Blue just removes all the racers, leaving only the Falcon Flyer in their place, which will run through the whole course. It will bob up and down with the track, and wow, that's novel and a lot more fun to play on. Tomodachi Life removes the walls in front of the buildings, so the inside is always visible. This is purely visual. I guess you could consider it a stage hazard? Except now my Mii is stuck staring at me the whole match. That might be more distracting. I also want to point out Windy Hill Zone. Hazards off is pretty standard, but the windmill doesn't move. So you've got this one platform barely peeking on screen, which you can stand on, and then this platform off screen, which you can totally reach, is completely passed through. That's a weird thing. Oh, and one more oddity. If you select Smashville with hazards off, this platform will fly in right at the beginning of the match and stay in the middle of the stage for the rest of it. I'm guessing it was just easier to code that way. And that's it. Those are the most notable things about hazards off. Yeah, it's a bit short. I'm like getting anxiety over here. It's like too short of a video. But I really wanted to discuss hazards off. It's such a simple idea, yet so effective. I've been wanting this for years, and to finally have it on what already seems like the best game in the series, it's not just the cherry on top, but a big old bucket of saturated fats dumped all over it. Delicious. So are hazards off your thing or not? I definitely see the benefits of some good old hazard every once in a while. Plus, some stages are still better with hazards on. Overall, it's a fantastic addition to the game and turns some of my least favorite stages into some of my favorites. And honestly, I'm just tired of Battlefield. I just don't like the stage. But hold up, we're not done yet. Let's run through each stage real quick, and I mean like punch the line and get out of there. This is ultimately subjective, but I'll try and use as objective reasoning as possible. The way I see it, you want hazards on if the hazards are fair and help the gameplay rather than hinder it. And you want hazards off when the stage provides an interesting layout that's different from Battlefield and Final Destination. I'll state my preference of playing on the stage with hazards on or hazards off, and if I think the stage should only be played one way or the other, I'll give it a superior rating. Okay, deep breath, swig of milk, let's-a go.
Let's-a go.
Battlefield. Big Battlefield, no change. Final Destination 1v1 box, only no items. No change. Peach's Castle. That platform's moving. Moving. Hey, is that a bumper? Bumper is my favorite item. This isn't half bad. Hey world, permanent bumper is the best idea ever. Hazards on, preferred. Congo Jungle. The barrel at the bottom of the screen is fun for clutch plays and the no hazards platforms are awkwardly placed. Also, you fall through this teeny gap. Hazards on, superior. Hyrule Castle. The only hazards are the whirlwinds. They have their merits, but they do appear out of nowhere. Link, can you really not reach the platform here in one jump? Look, Villager Cannon, this is your stage. Hazards off, preferred. Super Happy Tree. The insoluble clouds are objectively better than the dissolving ones, unless you like trolling people. Hazards off, superior. Dreamland. The only change here is with wispy woods. I prefer the occasional gust of wind, but there's no doubt that can get annoying. Hazards on, preferred. Saffron City. The Pokemon are a bit of a wild card, but the platforms are better when they're moving. Hazards off, preferred. Mushroom Kingdom. The scales are gone, there's no piranha plants, but even with hazards off, there's still that awkward choke point on the left side of the stage. So if you pick this stage, you'll have a better time with hazards on. Hazards on, superior. Princess Peach's Castle. The bonsai bills are telegraphed and the buttons simply add platforms and item boxes. Hazards on, preferred. Rainbow Cruise, do you like side-scrollers? I don't. Hazards off, preferred. Congo Falls, the stage is already a bit awkward to play, I think it benefits from a few obstacles. Hazards on, preferred. Jungle Japes, the claptraps are gone, but the water's still there, which was the main problem anyway. No preference. Great Bay, the turtle is still there and the rock still rocks with hazards off, so unless you miss Balloon Man, no hazards is better. Hazards off, preferred. Temple, no change. Brinstar, the breakables on this stage are always fun to destroy, but if you don't like Rising Pineapple Juice, this is a no-brainer. Hazards off, preferred. Yoshi's Island, melee. The block should be interactable. Hazards on, superior. Yoshi's Story, no Shy Guys, but Randall has also disappeared. Unacceptable. I miss him already. Hazards on, superior. Fountain of Dreams, the platforms no longer move. Hazards on, superior. Green Greens, the blocks no longer fill the gaps between platforms. I used to despise the hazards on this stage, but I actually enjoy them now. Hazards off, preferred. Corneria, if you can make a gentleman's agreement to not camp on top of the blasters, hazards off is better. Otherwise, hazards on, preferred. Venom, an awkward stage either way, no preference. Pokemon Stadium, the different stage versions are all fantastic. Hazards on, superior. Onett, the black van drives me insane. Hazards off, preferred. Mushroom Kingdom 2, the hazards on this stage are pretty fun, but definitely hectic. Hazards off, preferred. Brinstar Depths, the rotation with hazards off has an isolated platform in the bottom right corner that has a weird ledge grab. Hazards on, preferred. Big Blue, fighting on the Falcon Flyer is simple while still retaining the feel of the stage. Hazards off, superior. Fourside, the hazards on this stage are not very intrusive to gameplay. Hazards on, superior. Delfino Plaza, no change? Mushroomy Kingdom, if you're gonna play on this stage, you might as well play with the question mark blocks. Hazards on, superior. Figure 8 Circuit, no Shy Guy Racers. Hazards off, preferred. WarioWare, the minigames are fun, but the rewards are baloney. Hazards off, superior. Bridge of Eldon, the hazards aren't that bad, but if you're looking for a completely flat stage, you've come to the right hazards off place. No preference. Norfair, the lava in the stage is ridiculous. A 1v1 could be fun with hazards on. Hazards off, preferred. Brigade Orpheon? The platform on the right still moves with hazards off, and no flips. Hazards off, superior. Yoshi's Island. Where's my Blargwitch? Wait, is that really its name? Yoshi's New Island was not the best, but that's a fantastic name, hoo boy! Hazards on, superior. Halberd, the grabber is annoying, but the bomb is explosive fun. Huh? Game & Watch? I want Game & Watch. Bring it on, boy! What? No! You can't do that, what? Hazards on, preferred. Lilac Cruise, the stage no longer tilts left and right. Hazards off, preferred. Pokemon Stadium 2, Flying Field and Electric Field are no fun at all. Hazards off, superior. Port Town Aero Dive, no racers. Hazards off, preferred. Castle Siege, no transformations, and more importantly, no transformation transitions. Janky. Hazards off, superior. Distant Planet, considering the slope walk-off, hazards on, preferred. Smashville, I'd rather have the platforms moving. Hazards on, superior. Newport City, that thing just appears out of nowhere. The limo's cool though, no preference. Summit, considering hazards off only removes about half of the hazards, you might as well play with all of them on. That said, if you want to turn off the fish, well, I don't blame you. Hazards on, preferred. Skyworld, making the platforms unbreakable does not remove my claustrophobia. Ho ho ho. Hazards on, preferred. Shadow Moses Island. With hazards off, this stage is one of a kind. It's still fun with hazards on. Hazards off, preferred. Luigi's Mansion. Honestly, the mansion should be leveled as quickly as possible. Hazards on, superior. Pirate Ship. Unfortunately, no King of Red Lions, but fortunately, no catapults or bombs. Hazards off, preferred. Spear Pillar. You need those legendaries so nerds will stop camping on the bottom section. Hazards on, preferred. 75M. There's no saving this course, but at least with hazards off, the jacks are gone. Hazards off, preferred. Mario Bros. The stage is lifeless without hazards. Hazards on, superior. Hannonbow. Hannonbow? The stage doesn't change much without electroplankton, but with hazards off, the position of the bottom left leaf is hysterical. Look at it. You hardly have space to roll, oh my gosh. No preference. Green Hill Zone. The curved form is surprisingly fun without the floor randomly giving out. Hazards off, preferred. 3D Land. With hazards off, the donuts will not fall. Unplayable. Hazards on, superior. Golden Plains. The stage has walk-offs either way, and both versions are fun. No preference. Paper Mario. Hazards off leaves you with just the first form of the stage. My favorite is the second form, and my least favorite is the third form. No preference. Gerudo Valley. The bridge won't break on hazards off, and no witches fly in. Hazards off, preferred. Spirit Train. Some pretty wacky stuff can happen with hazards on. Hazards off, preferred. Dreamland GB, no change. Unova Pokemon League. Reshiram and Zekrom aren't too overpowered, but when hazards are on, stairs connect to the main platform, creating walk-offs. Hazards off, preferred. Prism Tower, no change. Mute City SNES. Instead of two racers competing with each other, the Blue Falcon is the only racer and remains stationary on the screen. Hazards off, preferred. Magicant. Flying Man is gone! Hazards off, superior. Arena Ferox. Instead of dynamically changing between the different forms, one is randomly chosen for the whole match. Hazards off, superior. Reset Bomb Forest. No bombs, bad Viridi. Hazards off, superior. Tortimer Island. With hazards off, Captain doesn't visit and the fruit doesn't appear on trees. Sounds less fun to me. Hazards on, preferred. Balloon Fight. The stage is actually pretty enjoyable without the evil fish dragging you into the depths of death. Hazards off, preferred. Living Room. The obstacles only fall once. They still fall though, so you'll have to deal with that anyway you roll that fuzzy dice. No preference. Find me, help me, I'm trapped in a cage. The hazards here are actually okay, but the main platform collapsing isn't good with more than 2 players. Hazards off, preferred. Tomodachi Life. Aesthetic changes only. PictoChat 2. I miss PictoChat 1. That said, no hazards makes this perhaps the most boring stage ever. Hazards on, superior. Mushy U. I actually like the hazards in this one, but hazards off is a fantastic layout. Hazards off, preferred. Mario Galaxy, no change. Mario Circuit. Kart racers don't appear on this track? Huh. What? The Shy Guys are here? Where? I don't see any of them. Hazards off, superior. Skyloft. One set of platforms with no hazards. Hazards off, preferred. The Great Cave Offensive. No minecart kills from out of nowhere, however there's still cannons, spikes, and danger zones. Hazards off, preferred. Kalos Pokemon League. A very interesting layout of platforms. The hazards on this stage are often ridiculous, like slashing swords. How do you even dodge that? Hazards off, superior. Colosseum. The hazards in this stage do not harm the player. You might as well play with them on. Hazards on, superior. Flat Zone X. The NPC kills are pretty cheap in an already small arena. Hazards off, preferred. Palutena's Temple. No spikes and no springs. Not many changes when compared to the size of the place. No preference. Gamer. No mom telling you to go to bed. I'm a grown adult, I can take care of myself. Hazards off, superior. Garden of Hope. All the annoying hazards have been removed. Hazards off, superior. Town and City. The platforms no longer move unless the location is changing. This is very minor. Hazards on, preferred. Wii Fit Studio. Platforms no longer change mid-match. Hazards off, preferred. Boxing Ring. The light rack will no longer fall into the boxing ring. Because a player must set that hazard loose, I think it's fair. Hazards on, superior. Gar Plane. Prevents Metal Face from showing up. Probably a good thing, he's pretty scary. Hazards off, preferred. Duck Hunt. The hazards do not bother the player, so you might as well have hazards on, unless hiding behind grass annoys you. Hazards on, preferred. Wrecking Crew. I'll take no bombs, I guess? Hazards off, preferred. Pilot Wings. You're stuck with the red plane. No preference. Woohoo Island. One set of platforms with no hazards. Hazards off, preferred. Windy Hill Zone. I'd much rather have the windmill rotate. Hazards on, preferred. Wily Castle. Gets rid of that obnoxious yellow devil, but unfortunately makes this stage a little boring as a result. Hazards off, preferred. Pac-Land. Don't play on this stage. Super Mario Maker. Only a few layouts have active hazards. You might as well play with hazards on. Hazards on, preferred. Suzaku Castle, no change. Midgar. Giving a player an advantage because they grabbed a sparkly that just appeared on screen doesn't exactly sound fair. However, hazards off is basically Battlefield. Hazards off, preferred. Umbra Clock Tower. Despite the freaks floating around in the background, the only hazards in this stage are floating platforms, so hazards on is the obvious choice. Hazards on, superior. New Donk City Hall. With hazards off, the stage still moves around, but moving platforms in certain sections are stationary. Hazards on, superior. Great Plateau Tower. Breaking the tower is what makes this stage fun, hands down. Hazards on, superior. Moray Towers, no change. Dracula's Tower. No items from candles. The bosses are purely visual. Hazards on, preferred. And there you have it. Phew! 45 stages are better with hazards off. That's nearly half of them, wow. See, it was a good idea, right? If I messed up something, which is totally probable given 103 stages, let me know. Also, let me know what your favorite hazards off stage is, and I'll see you later. Bye! No, bye, not hi, Kirby. Come on. Thank you, Falcon.